There should be no real discussion about how the White House and the Internal Revenue Service work together in making your life a living hell every year at tax time. That's a given. But one man and one group wanted to look a little deeper. And what we could be soon learning is what information the two entities are sharing, your information, and why you should be more than just a little bit concerned. Welcome to MidPoint. He is the attorney for the group Cause of Action, advocating for government accountability. They filed the lawsuit to get IRS emails released by the Treasury Inspector General. Dan Epstein joins us. Dan, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Dan, what do we hope to learn from all these lost emails? Let's take Lois Lerner out of this for a moment. Let's deal with the taxpayer data. What are we hoping to learn that we didn't know before? Because as I pointed out, don't we already know basically that the White House, the government, and everybody, they've been sharing this information surreptitiously for decades?
Yeah, I think what Cause of Action, my organization, has found is that when the president told the American people there wasn't a smidgen of corruption with the IRS scandal, he wasn't telling the whole truth. In fact, what we know is that the White House got confidential tax information. That's some of our most confidential information that in an unauthorized manner went to the White House. The Supreme Court has said the power to tax is the power to destroy. And if the president is able to access our most sensitive information in an illegal fashion, that fundamentally makes all Americans a target of the government.
Dan, I know that we're still learning about this here, and I know that we still have a long way to go. But is there a thinking process here that this specific look at personal data began with the Obama administration, or does this go back decades? Is this something that simply they're following up on, or they created themselves?
As far as we can tell, federal law says that if the president wants to access specific tax returns, he has to make a specific request. As my organization has conferred with the Joint Committee on Taxation, which gets these requests, they have said that never has a president used that specific statutory authority. So what we know is that this is really unique. For the facts given, a president has never accessed confidential taxpayer information. It is illegal for the IRS to share confidential taxpayer information unless it's specifically authorized. It wasn't specifically authorized in this administration, and I think this is a bold move by the president. This is something that is unprecedented, and this is an administration that has to be held accountable for this.
Is there a thinking process as to where the president might say this would be used to justify it? Because I don't know why, but all of a sudden in my head I can see the words national security running around.
I don't think there's any national security basis for this. We know at least two potential areas of interest. One is several years ago, Austin Goolsbee, who was the chair of the National Economic Advisors to the president, allegedly looked at a company's tax returns. Second of all, we know that a story in the Daily Caller pointed out that IRS officials in the exempt organizations division shared the taxpayer information of a religious college that was fighting Obamacare, and that was directly shared with one of the president's healthcare advisors. So we already know that these aren't national security grounds for the White House accessing confidential tax information. These are instances in which the White House is accessing confidential information to protect itself politically, to inform itself politically, and to play strategy. And that's not only totally inappropriate and has no lawful justification, but this raises serious legal questions of why is the president snooping at our most confidential information? This is private for a reason. Our tax information is private for a reason. Our Social Security data is private for a reason. Why is it that we all have to follow the law when we file our tax returns each year, but the president in the White House, when it comes to that confidential information, it doesn't care about the law?
Dan, about a minute or so left here. What would be the end game? Because we're also talking about all these lost, quote-unquote, emails here that have recently been found. The Lois Lerner emails talk about that. But how could this then fundamentally change the Internal Revenue Service?
Yeah, I think, this country reformed its tax laws after Nixon. Nixon never went so far as to politicize the IRS in the way that it's being politicized now. And I think This really should signal that this White House either has to be held accountable and has to answer some serious, tough questions, or we're essentially allowing for this country to have its bureaucracies politicized for the benefit of the party in power.
End of the day, though, it'll change the way we pay our taxes. End of the way, though, it'll change the way we pay our taxes and the way the IRS works here, because this would show that they're complicit in all this, and there's got to be a cleaning out.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows, when we pay our taxes each year, when we give our own earnings to support the government, are we supporting political power and political ideology, or are we supporting a system of limited power to protect our interests? And the answer is that that's unclear. And that's a bad precedent for our children and grandchildren.
Things will be coming out, and we will absolutely be talking about this a whole lot more. Interesting to see how the IRS might change indeed. Dan Epstein, we thank you so much for your efforts, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you. After a short break, Legal Eagle Heather Hansen is here to look at a case that could be much more explosive and much more to the point than the shooting in Ferguson. And later on this hour, the Money Master from Wall Street, right here on MidPoint.